This video offers a brief explanation of the Maxwell materials and how to manage them. Open the cup scene in Modo. In the shader tree, expand the render node and drag the cover material over the cup inside, cup outside and handle materials. This allows you to edit them without them being overwritten by the cover material. Now we are going to assign a Maxwell material to the cup outside material. Expand the cup outside node and edit the material 3 node inside it. In the Maxwell render panel, click on the Material Plus button. It will display the Maxwell render options for this material node. Choose Replacement by MXM file. You can now browse to an existing Maxwell material file, open the material library, browse through the MXM gallery, or assign a new MXM material. Choose New MXM material. You have to set the file name and the path where the new material file will be stored. It makes sense to store them in your project folder. The materials have a tree structure with layers that contain BSDF components, emitters and coatings, amongst others. The BSDF is the definition of a normal surface. Its parameters are divided into 3 categories: BSDF properties, surface properties and subsurface properties. First we are going to create a plane diffuse material. Set a color in the Reflectance 0 slot. Reflectance 0 is the color of the surface seen at front angles. You could also apply a texture by clicking on the checker icon. Choose a color with the color picker. Diffuse materials are characterized by their high roughness value. Set roughness to a high value like 99 or 100% to create a pure diffuse material. You can make a preview render of the material. If you are happy with the look of the material, close the material editor. Choose Save to store the changes. Accept the renaming question. Now the new Maxwell material is assigned to the cup outside surface. Let's apply the same material to the cup inside. Select the cup inside node, click on the Material Plus button and select Replacement with MXM file. Choose Browse for MXM file and load the material we created. Repeat the same for the handle material. Make sure that the rendering options are set correctly and hit the render frame icon. As you can see, high roughness values produce diffuse materials. We are now going to lower the roughness value. Select the cup outside node and choose Edit MXM material to modify it. The Maxwell material editor opens to allow you to edit the selected material. Set roughness to a medium value like 50. This will create a semi-reflective material with blurred reflections. Close and save the material to store the changes. Render the scene. As you can see, a medium roughness value produces blurred reflections. The lower the roughness, the smoother and more reflective the surface will be. Now we are going to create a perfect mirror. Edit the cup material we created. To create a perfect mirror, just lower the roughness value to 0. This will create a perfectly smooth mirror-like surface. Reflective surfaces usually have a high refraction index value, ND, like 20, to make the reflections more patent. Make a preview render. To avoid an orange tint, set the reflectance 0 color to pure white or pure black. Close the material editor and save the file. Render the scene. This is how a perfect mirror is created, with a very low roughness value and a high refraction index. Now we are going to create a plastic. Edit the material. Plastics are created with a combination of a diffuse surface and a reflective surface. We are going to create a material with two BSDF components, a diffuse BSDF and a specular BSDF. Right-click in the material tree area and choose Add BSDF. The two BSDFs will be mixed to create the final material. Rename one of the materials to diffuse to avoid confusion. Make sure roughness is set to 99 or 100. The other BSDF is the specular BSDF we created in the previous step. Rename it to specular. Make sure that its roughness is set to 0 and the ND is set to 20. The final material is a combination of both BSDFs. You can adjust the mixture by setting the contribution of each component using the weight parameter. Set the weight of the diffuse component to 90 and the weight of the specular component to 10. Make a preview render to test it. You can change the weights to a 95:5 proportion to get a less reflective plastic. Save the changes and render the scene. Try other weight values to get different plastics. Now we are going to create a glass material. Edit the material. Remove the BSDF components by right-clicking on the layer and choosing Remove Selected to remove that layer from the material tree. Right-click again in the material tree area to add a new layer. Each layer can contain more than one BSDF, as we have seen in the previous steps. For glasses, an important parameter is the transmittance color. It represents the color of the glass. Choose a green color to create a green tinted glass. Another important parameter for a transparent surface is the refraction index ND. Set ND to 1.5, which is the refraction index of common glass. To get a perfectly smooth glass, set the roughness value to 0. Set roughness to a higher value, like 15, if you want to create a frosty glass. Close the material editor, save the changes and render the scene. As you can see, it is easy to create a glass material with Maxwell Render. Transparent materials cast caustic reflections. Maxwell Render calculates these caustics accurately and automatically. Without a doubt, one of the best resources to start learning about materials is the Maxwell Material Gallery. You can download thousands of free, physically correct materials to use in your project. Enter the MXM Gallery at resources.maxwellrender.com. All contents are free. You just need to register to be able to download materials. You can perform a search by typing in a specific keyword. Find an interesting material and hit download to download it. You can use the downloaded material as is or modify it to fit your needs. Back in the scene, edit the cup outside material. Choose Browse for MXM file to import an existing MXM file. Load the downloaded file. Repeat the same for the handle and cup inside. Render the scene. As you can see, Maxwell materials are pretty easy to manage. This was a Getting Started tour. To learn how to create more sophisticated materials and for a more in-depth explanation of each material parameter, check the Maxwell manual. Thank you for watching this video.